black men down there, man. Strong black men that are proving themselves. He got more degrees than Goodwin, more degrees than Bill Field, more degrees than Clack put together. They say you ain't good enough, man. You overqualified. You know that's how they do you. You're overqualified. But let me open up the lines. Take your thoughts, questions, comments. 410-761-1592. Again, man, gave you a couple of stories as we having an open show on the flow. But your fire chief is stepping down. And again, clearly he was given a vote of no confidence. And came from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And he said now he can go back to Minneapolis, Minnesota, raise him some llamas, maybe raise him some ostrich and some other animals on the farm, man. But he leaves and gonna get a nice fat pension. Now this comes with your recent musical chairs of your police commissioner who left, in terms of Bill Felt, left with his big fat pension. Now you got, of course, Andre Alonso. We haven't forgotten him. 30th is his last day. I don't know why he just didn't go out with the bulk trash or with that barge going back to New York taking some trash, man. But let me come to the line, as we have another one that bit the dust in terms of, again, Chief Clack. And they talked about he came and served under Sheila Dixon and Stephanie Rollins. And how did the citizens in the city benefit from his, what's the word I'm looking for? Benefit from probably his tenure at the helm of being, again, the police or the fire chief in the city of Baltimore. But let me come to the line. Or if you want to talk about this NSA spying. If you want to talk about the George Zimmerman trial, and where's the boycott? Where is the boycott that was supposed to be called for? By Al, I owe $8 million. They let me compromise down to 2.5 million taxes Shopton. Or Tavish Smiley, Cornell West, Mark Morial, Mr., all the rest of them. There's no boycott. So this is where we are now. But most of you are not interested because the game's on tonight. You will be tweeting more about the game than the big shame down there in Florida. And you know what I'm saying is true. You can't wait right now. Some of you right now getting your cheese, getting your popcorn, your corn curls, getting your hot dogs, your pig feet, pig ears, your chitlins. You can't wait for the game right now. But let me come to the line. Take your thoughts, questions, comments, man. Question is, when will you stop playing the games and allowing yourself to be a part of the game? 410-761-1592. You can get in on the conversation. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the State of the City.
Good afternoon, Brother Muhammad.
Hey, brother. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
Before I forget, tomorrow, Thursday, the 13th, is going to be a hearing on that city worker pension bill.
City worker pension. Well, they better get there, man. They better get there. Right? What time is it?
4:30. We meeting at 4:30.
All right. Tell them brothers down there whispering in your ear, send their due nation to support the show for that infomercial, all right?
That's my man. One more thing. Look.
All right. What do you think about Clack leaving?
Yeah. I'm so glad. You always said that he was not here for long.
Not here for long. And he wasn't qualified. So now, do you think that the brother that they're talking about, the intern, Mr. Seagal, Siegel? Siegel. Okay. Do you think? Well, we'll see if they see him right now. But he's gonna be Seagal when he get the position. He'll be Siegel, brother. Do you think they will allow him to be the permanent chief?
I hope and pray, man.
Right.
I mean, Baltimore is what 75% black.
75% black.
I mean, it's disgraceful. I don't know what Sheila had on her mind. I don't know what it was all about. Why this man came from Minnesota, ain't never seen a row house in his whole GD life.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to have to, maybe Sheila's free now. Maybe she'll put that in the book, why she chose him, or maybe somebody else chose him and told Sheila to bring him here. But Rick Hoffman, the president of the Firefighters Union, said he respects Clack, but thinks that his native Minnesotan had too little experience to run a big city agency, man. So, now if they're saying that about him, what does that say about the police chief? There's a big difference between Oakland and Baltimore, right?
Well, yeah, but how many people in Oakland?
How many people what?
Live in Oakland.
In Oakland, you probably got about 400,000, if not less. Yeah, yes, sir.
Not too far from 600.
Yeah. In Oakland, they probably had about 30 murders a year, brother. All right? Yeah. Compared to Baltimore. But what would be his legacy? What did he do for the department? What did he do for the rank and file, man, except allow them to have to, of course, looks like they're rearranging their work schedules, the work shifts, and everything else, man.
What he did do, he got rid of the minority recruitment.
So he got rid of, wait a minute, so he got rid of the don't say minority, say he got rid of the black recruitment office down there. He passed over good brothers, and of course we remember the cheating scandal that came out, right?
Right.
Yes, sir. So clearly, due to the cheating scandal, looked like he got rid of a lot of qualified blacks down there and reduced perhaps some of those black instructors down there, brother. Is that right?
Right.
All right. Appreciate you checking in, man. All right, brother. Peace. And with that, we'll take more of your calls. 410-761-1592. Get in where you fit in where you get in on this conversation. Good afternoon, caller. You on the State of the City.
Yeah.
You got to turn that raggedy radio down.
Yes, sir. Muhammad, I don't know. It looks like they're abandoning the Baltimore City Police Department. First, that dude Cartwright, he left. Mm-hmm. He didn't. I think he gave him 30 days notice. Yeah, bam, he was gone.
Yeah, I think he's gone over to a public relation firm. Now I hope it ain't Jones and Malone, but time will tell. But please continue, brother.
Yeah, I think these guys, when the fire department, once you start, they'll never touch the police department.
Right.
They what they call they've been given a new term to untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
Because they will not be cut.
Right.
But Clark, as we both know, we was at the meeting at the junior high school.
Yes.
This first time he even saw.
Yes, sir.
His first time, and he certainly does not deserve a pension.
Right.
He only been there 5 years.
I think that's all they need to get that pension, brother.
And when you do see that the guys ask Ice Cube, about his role in barbershop.
Yes, sir.
That's all. Because I still can't understand why he would say what he said.
Right.
On that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Appreciate you checking in. We'll take more of your calls. 410-761-1592. Get in where you fit in where you get in on the conversation. And with that, we'll come back to the lines. But we're looking at, of course, your fire chief stepping down. But I did tell you he was next. I did tell you his initials going to be, as my brother Dr. Powers said, NFL, not for long. But again, just like Alonzo. And, of course, I don't think they even mentioned the former fire chief who also was given a vote of no confidence, who was O'Malley's drinking buddy. That's how he got the job. Goodwin. Was it Goodwin? Was that name? William Goodwin? Bill Goodwin? And we do remember all the corruption that swirled around Goodwin, but maybe y'all don't want to have that conversation. Some of y'all firefighters and paramedics want to act like you got amnesia. But we do remember all of the controversy. We do remember all the corruption that was swirling around Bill Goodwin, and perhaps at that time when William Goodwin should have been paying attention to the firefighters' pension, and many of them Wall Street companies like Legg Mason, Morgan Stanley, and the rest of them made off like the bandits and swindlers that they are with the pension of the firefighters, and yet they come back to the taxpayers in the city of Baltimore saying, hey, brother, can you spare a dime? Brothers, can you bail us out? And, of course, it was your former mayor and current governor who kicked the can down the road, when it came to firefighters' pension, and he just passed the can to old dumb Sheila Dixon, and now she passed it on to Stephanie Rollins, and they're trying to, again, continue to pass it on to the generations that come in the city of Baltimore. Because most of these firefighters don't live in the city. Most of them still live in New York, Philadelphia. You might have 5 of them living in an apartment building, claiming they live in the city, living in one apartment, claiming they live in the city of Baltimore. You all know what I'm saying is true. You just don't want to talk about that. But again, they got rid of programs that's supposed to have been able to recruit young people from the high schools into the fire academy. You remember they had one at Walbrook and some of the other schools. So clearly they don't want your sons being able to be qualified and daughters to become firefighters in the city of Baltimore. So we'll see if your mayor allows this one, Siegel, or Seagal, as I said his name is right now. He'll be Siegel when he see that position permanent. Right now he's interim. And, of course, if you want to talk about the George Zimmerman trial that's coming up on a national level, or if you want to talk about this NSA, which really, as we find out, is not NSA, but the MSA, the Mossad spy agency, or spies like us, the 2 Israeli companies, Norus and Virant, that's been spying on the American people, but they got a long history of spying on the American people. Some say that was the fight between J.F. Kennedy and NSA, was the fight about Israel and their nuclear weapons, and they got more nuclear weapons than all the Arab nations and Muslim nations put together in the Middle East. But when they talk about nuclear weapons and weapons of mass destruction, nobody wants to mention Israel. I wonder why. But with that, let me come back to the line, 410-761-1592. Good afternoon, caller. You on the State of the City.
Afternoon, Darren.
Afternoon.
These 2 things. Let's what's his name, Alonzo, who left the school system?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What about the woman who who was the CEO before him, and she has some money problems?
Yes.
Questions.
Copeland, Russo. Which one of them ugly white women you want to talk about?
A female.
Well, yeah, that was Copeland and Russo, who was flying out of town every weekend to Florida to spend with her boyfriend. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And this thing I just heard on the TV of one of the prosecutors, in the Zimmerman case.
Yes.
That these were two men in the wrong place at the wrong time. You got to blame the victim,
right,
as usual.
Yes,
Have a
ma'am.
good day.
All right, you do the same. Well, with the Trayvon Martin case, as I've said before, and the living legend has talked about, we still haven't seen no videotape of him in that 7-Eleven. So the question I'll be asking, did they kill him elsewhere? And again, man, there's so much more to this case. Some of y'all ain't going to be able to bear when I really get into this case and ask the questions regarding what happened that particular night and why did his body lay in that morgue for 3 days. Not that he was Lazarus or Nicodemus or anybody else, but again, in a town in Sanford, Florida, and everybody that was over the police department has gotten out of town. Will they be called in to testify in the case? Or will the defense as well as the offense in the O.J. Simpson trial, will they all be, of course, dealing from the same deck, or will they be asking some real questions? Will this become no more than similar to the O.J. Simpson trial? Just attraction for the American people, the social engineering on your emotions and commotions for something bigger that perhaps they may have planned to go down after this trial goes down. But let me come back to the line, take a few more of your calls. 410-761-1592. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the State of the City.
Hey, Brother Darren. It's amazing with this Trayvon Martin trial. Will all the usual suspects use it for a publicity stunt?
Yes, sir. Clearly.
Because that's what I'm really wondering about.
Right.
Is will Sharpton and the usual suspects use it to further their ends rather than help that family?
Right. Well, we know the family did settle out of court with the Homeowners Association for $1 million already. So, and much of that really hasn't been really mentioned by the mainstream news media. And we do know the history of Al Sharpton, as we saw with Gina, where he goes down and sign a contract with the family that says only he can be the spokesperson for the family. So the question is, will we see that kind of tactic? Because I think we saw Al trying to jet it down to Sanford, but I think Jamal Bryant beat him down there, right? At a time when blacks are being killed in this city, and Jamal Bryant won't stand up for that.
Oh, no.
So it kind of makes it interesting. But, of course, he was part of Obama's, what was that called? What was that? Reclaiming the, was it Reclaiming the Dream or something he called it? Yeah,
Reclaiming the Dream, except he never quite got to that in this city.
It was him and Ben Chavis, huh? Went back from being Muhammad to Chavis.
And now, and then you got Ben Jealous right here in this. It's funny, ain't it? The National Office, the NAACP right in this city, and you can't tell us, ain't they done?
No, I remember talking to the mom of Chris Brown, the young brother killed by the off-duty police officer, and she went to the NAACP, and they said, now here they are, they probably less than a mile away from where the young brother was killed in Randallstown.
Yeah, the National Office is less than a mile away.
And they said, we'd have no idea about your son, Christopher Brown. So, I mean, that's the shameful part. But here's a man that can make his way to Annapolis to inject himself into a conversation with Martin O'Malley about the death penalty.
And gay marriage, let's not forget that.
And gay marriage.
Advertise for that too.
New Americans and their rights for immigration, but not about, again, the plight of black youth and black men and black women being killed in the cities of America.
Well, that's because Ben too busy getting rich off of it.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. All right. Thoughts and comments on Clack? Any thoughts on that? All right, we lost Brother Aaron. If you want to get in on the conversation, 410-761-1592. And while my lines are cleared, let me take this opportunity as I have this clip talking about Medgar Evers. Because, again, the old saying goes, if you don't know what was, then you don't know what is, and you don't know what yet shall be. But I want to play this clip, I think, talking about, again, our elder who lost his life. 50 years tomorrow, as many will be stopping over these next few months, celebrations and commemorations in the education and highlighting historic events, historic moments of, again, our movement in this country. And this is one of those, which is, again, the death of one of our great leaders, and Medgar Evers. So let me go to this clip talking about Medgar Evers, and then we'll come back in, open up the lines, take more of your thoughts, questions, comments on these stories that we're sharing with you on this open show on the State of the City. So we just got to get this little infomercial out the way, and then we'll come to this clip on Medgar Evers again. And we have to teach the young people because many of them don't know